and it is time for another advice video because these are fun and interesting and entertaining. So we're going to start off with a D&D one. Be somebody that wants to be part of the group and give them a reason to let you join. I think it's actually really good advice for just normal life, not just, Dungeons and Dragons groups. But yeah, just don't be a dick, as Stephen he says. Don't be a dick and give people a reason that they want to be friends with you and they're willing to let you in. And, sometimes it's hard. And maybe that's not your group. Maybe you need to find another group. But can't hurt. Try not to take life so seriously. Nobody knows what they're doing. They're just people trying to figure things out. Never keep score in a relationship because once it becomes conditional, it's no longer a relationship. Be really good at cooking one thing to impress that special someone. These all came from my senior year film teacher in high school. Sounds like a very wise person. Patience. My father instilled patience in my brother and I in every aspect of life, making things easier. Sometimes it's harder before it gets easier, but you must have patience. Yes. The being patient is it's a skill. You have to hone it and you have to work on it, but it does help you out through life. Keep your head straight and your ass will follow. I'm assuming they're not talking about the donkey. While admittedly crude, it's true and simple. A family friend once told me this when I was a kid. Rip Mel. I hope you have a nice view up there. Yeah, keep your head straight and your ass will follow. It's not wrong. Don't be stupid, my friend told me that. That's good advice as well for anyone. You don't have to like everybody, but sometimes you have to cooperate. See, this is something I think a lot of people need to just take to heart, whether it's in social situations or jobs, especially jobs. You don't have to like everybody, but you do have to sometimes cooperate with them. That's not being fake, it's just being an adult. Learn to do it. Life can be viewed like driving. Stay in your lane and don't mind what other people are doing. Do what's necessary to protect yourself without endangering anybody else. That's good. That's a good one. Be a thermostat, not a thermometer. My high school cross country coach taught us a saying: every day is a good day, just some are better than others. It's a positive attitude. I don't really have those, but let's glad someone else does. Stop hoping for a better past. That one, that's cool. I actually like that one. I would put that up somewhere. Yeah. If you do what is easy in life, well, if you do what is easy, life will be hard. Punctuation matters. If you do what is hard, life will be easy. Not necessarily, but I can understand the sentiment. Yeah. So this one has a few. Ready? Plan A will never survive. If it does, then something is likely wrong. Failure happens to even the best laid plans. Plan for it. If you make your initial plans very well, then you get destroyed, and you get destroyed, then the pieces are big enough to assemble plan B and go on down the line. By the time you get to plan D, though, you have problems. Never give too much power to people in life, like bosses. In most interactions, the other party cannot kill you, cannot eat you, cannot harm your friends or family. They can only inconvenience you. What power do they really have? Never take life too seriously and step back from time to time to enjoy this life. The universe has a strange sense of humor. If you can recognize it and laugh a bit, you are more fortunate than most people. That's actually really, really good. I like all those. I had a boss who used to say, when when something bad would happen at work, he said, "What are they going to do? Take away my birthday?" I still use that. Thank you, Randy. There's no such thing as a free lunch. Very true. It's easy to go through life if you make an effort to get along with people. That's also very true. You just because you feel it doesn't mean you have to pass it on. Oh my God, I'm constantly telling people this. It's from a boss that I entered into a position of leadership for the first time. Insulting your people from your stress is critical in keeping people on track. And insulating, wow, Freudian slip there maybe. Insulating your people from your stress is critical in keeping people on track. Yeah, yeah, it is. Don't complain about getting old. Not everyone gets the privilege. Yeah, I've heard that one numerous times. You don't have to attend every argument you are invited to. You know, I learned that many, many years ago. So I don't talk and I don't engage. Be greedy when others are afraid. Be afraid when others are greedy. Ooh, see, I like that one too. It's okay to cry and reach out for help. Doing that doesn't make you weak. It makes you strong because you can set aside your pride and ask for help. I say, thank you, Alyssa. I love you all. So obviously, Alyssa gave him very good advice. Never set yourself up for failure, but it's okay if you do. I'm assuming it means never set yourself up for failure, but if you do fail, that's okay. It's life. Nobody has given me advice, but it's something that I have learned, and it's what you have to do to move on, or else you will fall into a deep, dark here and never get out, no matter what it is. Okay? Basically, don't get so caught up in your own headspace. There will be a time when you have to end what's been bothering you. It is up to you when to end that suffering. That simply takes bravery. I like that. Could be put a little more concisely, but I like it. The world isn't people. The world isn't, and people aren't out to get you. People are just looking out for themselves. Yeah, for the most part, yes. For the most part, people really are too caught up in their own little world to really be out to get you. But there's always a chance. My grandmother once told me there are two rules to life. Fuck what others think. And if you want it, you have to go out and get it. Nobody is going to give it to you freely. Grandma was smart. She really was. I can't translate that one. Every gift is a mission. Kind of a good reminder that it's important to do what you are good at for some higher purpose. Well, that's true. If you have a gift, I guess you should be using it and not worrying so much about other stuff. Just use it to the best of your ability and hope that it helps other people. Don't be an idiot. Whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, then I do not do that thing. Saved my life. The more you do, the more you can do. This is true. If you are having issues, ask for help. Sometimes you cannot do it alone. Yeah. If you ever end your life because the way it is now too bad to handle, you will never have a chance for things to ever get better. It's the ultimate halt if you ever feel to ever feel happy again. By ending it, you will not only end your depressed feelings, but you will end everything. All your chances, all your tears, all your laughter, your ability to hear the birds sing in the morning. Everything. I think a lot of people could could hear that, could use that advice, because having been in a dark hole, sometimes that does seem like a tempting situation. Well, I'll just end it, but you're ending the good stuff too, and you're never going to get a second chance. So anyway, on to the next one. Keep cool, never freeze. Read that on a ketchup bottle. Best advice I ever got. Okay. When you are unsatisfied with something, you have two options: accept it or change it. That's good. I like that one. The only person left to love yourself is you. My best friend said this to my boyfriend when he felt like all he did was hurt people. He's a jokester without a sense of when to stop. And I was like, yeah, what she said. And that was the best self-esteem phase I have ever heard. A broken heart is like a broken mirror. It's better to let it be broken than hurt yourself trying to fix it. Okay. It's not what you make, it's what you save. Financial advice there. It's better to finish things than try and perfect it and never finish them. This applies to me so much with my work and art. I guess, yeah. I mean, if you have that perfectionist tendencies, there's that point where you're just like, oh, I've got to keep working on it. It's not perfect. I've got to keep going. I've got to keep going. But at some point you do have to say, okay, it's done. Just move on. Yeah. The only thing you can control is yourself. Very true. I only know, but I know only, but that I know nothing. Teacher quoting Socrates, but just realizing that there's always been something that is to be learned is important to me. I'll never think that I know it all because there's always something to be learned. Yeah, I think a lot of people should take that advice to heart. You don't know everything. Keep learning, and you'll be a better person, basically. So a 28-year-old cousin said to 15-year-old me, remember that attentive men are always good in bed. Oh, wow. Kind of starting for a 15-year-old. Control your perception, direct your actions properly, willingly accept what is outside your control. Oh, that is The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday. I think it was Robert Downey Jr. who said, when someone is telling you what they think, just nod your head and then and do what they were going to do anyway. And do what you were going to do anyway. Or something like that. Solid advice. Yeah, that's good. Smile and wave. Smile and wave, boys. Learn to speak as they speak. As a minority from Brooklyn in New York, you can imagine how I spoke as a kid. As an adult, I still speak that way, and my ghetto speech slips out when I get comfortable with people. But when I'm at work or something, I speak normal English. I use higher vocabulary. It impresses people easier, and I've gotten further in life for it. Apparently, these days, it's called code switching. I've never heard that term. And, I mean, it's advice, but at the same point, you gotta kind of be yourself. I don't know. That one's a little, oh, it's a tricky one. I really look up to my dad. He's a real trooper, and even though he has a fair few problems with him, uh, he can still chug on with life. And I quote I try to live by is, every day is a good day. Speak, because if you don't speak, none will listen. It's true. Sounds very, old-timey advice. But it's not bad. I'm just saying that's what it sounds like. Don't take life too seriously. Nobody gets out of it alive. Yes, I've heard that one numerous times. Better late than never. Yeah. Stick around and see if something cool happens. He said it is don't leave the party yet thing, but I was passively suicidal at the point and it woke me up. See? There you go. Back in the old days of the Vietnam War and the draft, I attended a lecture by a guy who talked about things to avoid the draft. He discussed various strategies, but always liked the question, is it effective? I remember that, and to this day, when faced with a decision on the solution or a problem, my first thought is it effective? That's pretty good. Because that's simple. That could be used for anything. And if you're critically thinking, you're gonna use that and say, yeah, okay. No one owes you a damn thing. If you want something, work for it. Yeah, yeah. Totally. Don't believe everything you think. That one, I like that. Put 10% of every paycheck in the bank. Well, if you can, do it. Actually, I put all of my stuff in the bank, but then I just take it up. That was a joke. I was complaining about a friend stealing my shirt. My dad said, if that's all it costs to know that person is not a friend, then it is worth it. If you buy something else on sale, but you don't need it, then you didn't save anything. That's true. There is no magical age where you just become an adult and know everything. Adults don't really know what they're doing. We're all just grown-up children. Worse things have happened to better people. That's something, yeah, I think a lot of people could learn. This kind of stuck with me. I volunteered at the day camp where kids were doing various activities, and this younger kid was too afraid to hit a baseball that was being pitched to him. It was being lobbed underhandedly and not really being thrown. Anyway, the one counselor said to him, you're never going to hit it out of the park if you're afraid to swing. I didn't see the value of that innocent statement until recently. There we go. See? Good homey advice. I like that one. The sad existence, a sad existence awaits those who associate themselves with complacency, and an even sadder one for those who do not defy repetition. Smart. My grandmother buried 4 husbands. My great aunt was lamenting the death of her husband. She asked Grace, how did you survive burying your husbands? My grandmother replied, I got out of bed the next day and did what had to be done. See, that's a whole other stoic aspect here that I think people, yeah, it's not, you may not want to continue, but you have to continue.